All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick look at something in the Photoshop program that is super important that you're going to be using just about in every single project that we're going to be using in this particular program. This feature is not available inside of Adobe Lightroom, and one of the great things about this particular feature is it's allowing us, as it says here, to create complex image compositions by stacking and independently editing different elements, such as images, text, or shapes, within this single file, essentially letting you work on different parts of an image without affecting others, doing something called non-destructive editing, and giving you maximum flexibility to adjust and rearrange your elements as needed. So we're going to take a quick look here at what we're going to be needing to know about layers, and then we're going to be incorporating that along with the tools that we took a look at in the previous assignment. So really quick, inside of the Photoshop program, I have a document open, and if you notice over here in the far corner, I have something called the Layers panel, which is currently open. If you don't see the Layers panel open, it could be hidden, it could be closed, and a great way to be able to access and pull this open, which, by the way, there's another one of those quick little videos you could watch, is by going up to the word window and pulling down to where it says layers. So I'm going to click on this just to close this. You notice how my panel closed over here on the side. Again, to get that back, we can go to where it says window, click on the word layers. F7 is the keyboard equivalent shortcut for that, and that will pop that open. The layers panel, which again could be in different locations, I'm going to put it over into this spot. This is the icon for the layers panel, and again, as you hover across different tools, you'll see the words indicating what that panel is. I can click on it here, which will pop it out as a little side panel, and you can even drag it or tear it off of that and make that panel as big as you need by clicking and dragging out this to fit what our needs are for this. So you can move this wherever you'd like on your screen. You can dock it even over here on the side, which I'll do for right now. Now, if we take a quick look, we have the little paragraph text, which I can hide or show a layer by clicking the eyeball icon to hide or to show a layer. I could double click on the word, in this case, layer 1, and type out blue square to rename a file. So that's another important thing that we're going to be able to do, is change the name of files and be able to, again, hide or show files by clicking on parts of the layer panel that make up our compositions. And the other thing that it's going to allow us to do is to take any elements, text, or pictures, and be able to change the order of the way that these things are going to appear when they're on top of other elements. So at the very bottom of the list, I have the background, and then above that is the text paragraph here. Now I've moved the photograph to be below the text, below the blue square that I've renamed, and also below the actual shape here of the circle in red. So if I move this over, I'm actually going to increase the size of this just a little bit, which we learned about with the move tool, and I'm going to accept that transformation. I could take this picture and I could move it all the way up above everything else, and you see how it now covers something else. So being able to change the way that the orders of the images are stacked on top of each other is going to be a super important thing to be able to work with. So this is a key thing that we need to be able to work with and use inside of the Photoshop program. These are the major things that we're going to be using as we move forward, again, working with the tools that we just did. So your assignment that we're going to look at will involve the use of the layers panel and just about every single one of those tools that we, again, looked at previous. So what's going to happen is we're going to be doing and creating this particular image here. And if we take a quick look at the layers panel for this particular image, we can see that we have a background, we have a gradient, we have a shadow, we have two different versions, the front and the back of the newest iPhone, iPhone 16, and then we have two pictures, the back and the front of the original iPhone that was released in 2007. So again, what we're going to be able to do is to utilize those tools that we originally looked at and the layers panel here in Photoshop to be able to recreate what we are seeing. Now, I'm going to give you the original files, which look like this: front of the iPhone, back of the iPhone, the original one, the front and the back of the 16 Pro Max. And what you're going to have to do is think about what tools we looked at in the original project that you just started the other day, looking again back at the little videos, thinking about what you used. Hey, what tool could I use to do, and to be able to take something, make a selection of something, be able to maybe rotate something, scale something, do all these things with these individual pictures, and in the end, be able to create something that's going to end up looking exactly like this that you see over here. So that's your challenge with our first tutorial that we're going to be working with. When you do get this project completed and you have them all together, again, in the layers panel, I'll put a screenshot of this so that you can see this is going to be what you're going to be creating, and I'll post that on Google Classroom. Then what I'd like for us to do is to also learn how to save a file and then be able to submit and turn files into Google Classroom. So I'll show you that right now. File to save as, and then you're going to want to go to your Google Drive, My Drive, your digital photography folder. Call this exercise, or Photoshop, excuse me, Photoshop exercise 1. We are going to name that down below. We are going to save it as a Photoshop type file. So we'll talk more about file types moving forward, but this will keep all of the original layers to be able to access them again and to work with those again. I have some examples of some other Photoshop files. It has this little icon that shows you it's a Photoshop file. We will go ahead and save it into our Google Drive. Press OK if this pops up when it does. And then to finalize this and to turn in a copy, what we're going to do is File, Save a Copy. And now what we're going to do is we'll keep the same exact file name, the same exact location in our Google Drive. And the only thing we're going to change is right here, Save as Type. We're going to change it from Photoshop to the very first listing of a JPEG file, this one right here. And then all you have to do is press Save. If you get any JPEG options that pop open, don't worry about what they are showing. It's not important for us, specifically not right now. Just press OK, and that file then will be saved. Both of them, your original file with all the layers will still be there in your Photoshop file, and the copy that you save, all the layers will be smushed together into the background. I will provide you with this document, so it will have the background, minus the shadow. There'll be a separate file that you'll bring in, and then you're going to be able to work with, again, all those pictures and the shadow. I will provide that for you to be able to bring in. The gradient, however, you'll be creating inside of Photoshop. Again, the Photoshop file will have all of these individual files that make this up. We learned how to turn things on and off. We learned how to change the order of files. So all those things that we just took a quick look at and the tools from before will be part of this particular project. So good luck, and you'll get started working with this when you're ready.